Hi, Romit.
Hi Vikram, can you hear me?
Yes, very clear. How are you?
Yeah, doing good. What about you?
So, I read some more posts about the developer. He had posted a few more things about how it is how hard for him to go for donations and everything, and sending thank you notes to people who donated and things like that for his development, continuous development.
Which development?
Bitcoin Cash ABC developer. I forgot his name here. I keep forgetting.
Oh really? Okay.
So I read a couple of his posts on Read, and even
Okay.
Akane messaged saying she was pretty sad about what happened on the day when Bitcoin and SV poked, and then this again is going to be another topic that's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
So I thought we could talk about that a little bit. So I wore this T-shirt. Makes sense. Today's.
Oh, I can't see your video.
Okay, no worries. I'm sure when
Let me just quit and join.
Rohil, is that right? Rohil Bhatt. Hi Rohil, can you hear us?
Yes, hello.
Nice, nice. I can hear you. Yes. Are you joining for the first time? I've not seen you before. I have listed.
Yeah, I'm joining for the first time.
Okay, okay. So tell me what brings you to the meetup and what experience you have, what you want to talk about.
No, I new to that. I'm new to this,
I cannot hear you very loud. It's just maybe you have to keep your mic closer to you or something.
Yeah, I'm new to this invention. Like, lot of VC policy industry, this kind of.
No, really not able to
Like,
hear.
for
I can hear that you're speaking, but I cannot understand what you're saying.
hello.
Yeah, a little better.
Yeah. I was just studying. I was new to this world, but bit interested about different things. So we have more than thousands of books. Uh, like. Uh,
No,
I was
Rohil, really
like
sorry.
developer not interested in hello.
Yeah, I can hear a little bit. I guess.
Can't make sense out of the conversation. It's just we can vaguely hear you.
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yes, you are audible, but it's very low sound that we're getting of yours.
Roy, why don't you speak? I have earphones on, so I can hear a bit clearer.
Oh yeah, okay. Let me just use the headphones. That shouldn't be a problem. I can put the headphones on
Yeah.
because more or less I thought it was very clear in terms of hearing others. But yeah, let me get the headphones on in a minute. I'll just get that.
Sure. We have a new member, Piyush Bora. Hi, Piyush. Okay, left.
So in the last BCH celebrations day, uh, this was one of the issues. Like I saw one of them was struggling with their headphones, and the same thing is happening with me
Yeah.
today. When you
Yeah.
when you wrap this and keep, it looks like it's easy. It'll come out just like the way you wrap it, but when you actually want to use it, you just yeah, finally.
That's why I like Audio Technica. They give you like a rolling kind of a thing to keep it safely.
did you say something?
No.
Okay, okay, okay. So, Rohil, now you want to say something, or we may be able to try hearing.
Yeah, we can start. I was just telling that I was doing new things in the world and job world. We have more than 1,000 cryptocurrencies. Just browsing one by one to see which is the better platform to invest or better platform to work with.
Well, it depends on what you're looking for. I mean, if you want to only invest, I mean, again, right? Like, what are you looking for to invest in? Are you looking to invest in like a project or a currency? What are you looking to invest in?
A project, I'll say. ICOs.
Oh, ICOs are pretty risky actually. Most of them end up being like scams, they exit scams, so you may want to be very careful with that. Uh, but if you're talking about like projects, uh, I think there are a few. If you go to coinmarketcap.com, you can see the top coins usually on a daily basis. Um, yep. I guess Chainlink, Cardano are some of the new projects that are coming up that are doing really good. Uh, and like there are a few exchanges like Binance, they have their own coin, BNB. Crypto.com has their own coin. I forgot what it's called. I think it's
Correct.
CMC. Uh, uh, there's also Tron that usually is pretty popular among people. So yeah, usually if it's like an exchange or a DeFi project, if you see that they have that decentralized aspect or non-custodial aspect, those coins should be good among the top any of it.
Totally.
But if you're looking at currencies, then I would say of course Ethereum is really good. Bitcoin Cash is good. Dash is good. Monero is good. These would be my top picks.
In total, ICOs are just another cryptocurrency, right? There we already have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Dash, Doge. They're all the popular ones, and they have been there for some time, which makes it robust, which makes it resilient to attacks, which has a good community backup, development continuous. With the new ICO, it's just a new coin that has been released, and it's mostly centralized, like somebody has a centralized coin. It's not proof of work or any kind of that technology. So you gotta watch what you put your money in. I know most of the ICOs people do make a lot of money because it starts at say 0.0001 cent per coin to start with, or a token to start with, and then it has a small jump itself means it goes 100 times 100x, like it goes to 0.001 cents or 1 cent. So if it's 1 cent, it's 10,000x. So usually that kind of a scenario, people just sell and exit. For just that reason, people use these ICOs, but you got to be careful about that. But the way it's simple to make 1000x or 10,000x, it's easier to lose that kind of value also.
So yeah, like what's the main topic for today?
Oh, well, of course, it's Bitcoin Cash. I was very much leaning towards understanding what the development part has come up to, and one of them is you. Of course, you can explain a little bit on what's happened about the blockchain-related, developments that ABCs plan to do, and what we had from our Bitcoin Cash day. Any kind of updates that we got from there, I thought we will share here today.
Yeah, sure. Do we are we going to wait for some more members to join? Or?
Yeah, that was my plan actually. I was just going to wait for a little bit more time and see if somebody more people join. We can take it from there.
Sure, sure. I did post it on our groups.
You did? Okay. I think this
Yeah.
Chai and guys like came and then they left. Maybe they're just like fixing it and they want to come back.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, that's what I thought we should have the topic of for one of those reasons. You can see the video now, Roman?
Which video?
My
Yeah, I could
video.
see. As soon as I joined back, I could see. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So for that reason, I thought I should wear this. So this is the T-shirt which we have popular, and I think it was time for it to be worn again.
Yeah. Last time
So
we
it's
had like 14, 15 members. Now we have nobody.
yeah. It's just that that week the price had jumped, right? So I think a lot of interest had gathered, and they wanted to understand some more. But now it becomes as soon as the price kind of stays there, anything more than 10% jump in the week, people have the interest. Less than 5% of fluctuation, little bit that's happened this week. I think people are like, okay, it jumped a little bit and it's staying quiet, so they're also quiet about it.
Yeah. I'm just looking at coin market cap and looks like Chainlink has overtaken Cardano.
But I realized coin market cap prices were like really fluctuating higher than I would see in CoinGecko.
Oh, really?
So CoinGecko had less fluctuation than what coin market cap was showing.
Yeah.
So which was this coin that you said went up higher than Cardano?
Chainlink. Chainlink.
Chainlink.
Yeah. Not sure why Litecoin is still in the top 10. I mean, the project is literally abandoned.
Well, I know what you're saying, but
Like
Litecoin
there
is a
are no
sec.
developers. There are no developers on Litecoin anymore. Even the main guy, the founder, also left. So
Is he not developing anymore, Charlie Lee?
no,
At
no,
least
he
just to
left
keep
like
it.
2017 or so. He left.
Okay,
He
okay.
sold
So
at the
this.
top. I think 18. Yeah, either late 17 or early 18. When the price was really high, he basically sold all his Litecoins and then he left.
So I think he sold his Litecoin for a different reason because he was being more targeted towards.
Yeah,
Uh,
but he also left the project.
he's not
He also
developing
left.
anymore.
Yeah,
Sure,
which
sure.
looks like an exit scam.
No, it did. But still, at least it's decentralized. It's the second of the most popular cryptocurrencies in the world, right? First is Bitcoin, and then it was
I think it's
Litecoin.
Ethereum now. Now I think it's Ethereum.
Totally, totally. In terms of time, chronological order,
Oh, in that sense, yeah,
Litecoin
yeah.
was the second one, and Litecoin was the silver. Till I guess yes, you're right in terms of Ethereum being the like silver of cryptocurrencies now. If gold is considered as Bitcoin,
The yeah, even the icons have switched. Yeah, Litecoin used to have a silver icon. Now it looks like it's blue.
oh yeah, I didn't get to see that for some reason. I always saw the Litecoin's silver. Maybe it's changed now. Let me just check it out.
Yeah.
But hey, Litecoin I think is still popular because there are a lot of people who have Bitcoin. I think still has Litecoin. Maybe because just after Bitcoin they didn't have any other coin to buy into. Then they bought into Litecoin at that time. And
Yeah.
Ethereum was pretty late, right? Ethereum was what 13 or 14, 2000. So in between, it was only Litecoin for a long time, and you should see the payment gateways people had built, and it was of course Bitcoin was the popular currency to exchange or to even accept, and then suddenly we had a choice, and the choice was Litecoin, and the Litecoin was the preferred coin after Bitcoin for a long time. Like of course, not necessarily the popular sites; they were more underground more on like torrents. They were all accepting Litecoin. So maybe because of that, the community is still big. So on a whole, it still holds a good market cap and still holds a good.
I've heard Litecoin was like the testnet for Bitcoin. Because usually features were being put on Litecoin first. Even Lightning Network was first tried out on Litecoin, I guess.
Was it? Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
So for that
Even Segment.
was Charlie Lee, the founder, was he working on it at that time when he was testing, helping test
I
these?
I think he was head of the group. I'm not sure how much he actually himself did the programming, but I know he
Okay,
started the project and then he did add a lot of things. But I don't know. At one point, I did see a Litecoin developer, like Litecoin specific developers, but I don't know what Charlie Lee specifically was.
okay, okay. Well, of course, he was developing the whole Litecoin at the time. Charlie Lee, I'm sure he would have helped the Lightning and everything to try on it. So we have first time I think Sushmit join us. Hi Sushmit, can you hear us? So if you're trying to say something, Sushmit, your mic is on mute. Just letting you know. Yeah, it is on the 6th actually. So this is in terms of the market cap.
On CoinGecko?
On market cap.
For me, it's on 7th.
Okay, maybe it needs to be refreshed. Just checking. No, it is 6 for me. 285. And Cardano is next.
क्या हुआ?
B.
Really?
देखा ना? Today? Today?
Oh, on CoinGecko, Cardano is 6th. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting set of coins here.
Wow, Binance coin is so high. US is, yes, of course, US does pretty well. I love that. So Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV are pretty next to each other. And then your XRP and Ethereum is just shot out of proportion and they've gone way ahead. It's
Yeah.
one of the reasons is because of the supply. If you see Litecoin is 4 times more than crypto, more than Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash and SV. Yes, that's right. It's sitting at
Yeah, I think
6 with.
it comes down to the problem. What I've heard from others is people usually think that uh, you have to buy one whole Bitcoin, and one Bitcoin is really expensive, but one XRP is super cheap.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So they end up buying XRP instead of Bitcoin, even though it's divisible by a lot. That's
Totally.
one of the notion that exists.
And I think just like the way you said, Litecoin makes it higher in the chart is because it's 4 times your early ones, which is Bitcoin, and that kind of the number, which is a circulating supply, yeah, is a tricky thing. We just don't know what becomes popular and helps having more circulating supply. As soon as the price is lower, the circulating supply is more, it actually comes and shoots up on top. But sometimes having more circulating supply does not really help and then just keeps it low, like the Dogecoin. And if I'm not wrong, Dogecoin is also an early one. But it is circulating supply is pretty high, but it's not bad in terms of the market cap chart. It is in the top 25.
Yeah.
So, who's messaging us?
Where?
The message board. Vishal is messaging, but I don't see him here. He came. Oh yeah, he's here. Sorry,
He's
my
here,
bad.
he's here. Yeah.
So somebody else left then. Okay.
The Rohil guy. He left. Was the email sent before?
Yeah, yeah,
Did
it
we
was
get?
sent.
Okay. I don't seem to
It's
be
sent to
getting the
everyone.
notification.
You didn't get a notification, you say?
No.
I
I
do
might have got
have.
the email, but I didn't get the notification for the email.
Okay, it's there. I got it. I just checked and I sent it. Double check. So I've seen some latest news in Bitcoin news.bitcoin.com. It was pretty interesting. I was checking
About
through
what?
that. I forgot what was the topic that it was. Just let me just get there.
That you're a
So
new member?
yes, we have. Okay, before that, I was just trying to ask Susmit. Susmit, if you can hear us, can we talk about a little bit of that ETC part, like uh, Ethereum Classic? We had this 51% attack. If you know anything about that, I would definitely want to know.
Yeah, I think there was a huge reorg of the chain. Somebody managed to basically get 51% of the hash rate and reorg the entire chain. I think I don't know what the exact amount was, but the loss for the stakeholders was about 5 million or so.
Wow, wow, that's a lot actually.
Yeah, so they were basically mining, but their blocks were not being on. It wasn't on the main chain, but once they got enough hash rate, they basically brought all their mined blocks onto the main chain, which basically took away the old blocks and brought in all the new blocks.
Wow.
So imagine if you had made a transaction, but that transaction hasn't been mined, right? They just mine empty blocks or so. And then after a long time, they managed to reorg the entire chain. Then the person who was supposed to receive your funds basically loses their amount.
True that. As in, wouldn't they get noticed and things like that within the first
No,
10 minutes of the
because
block?
no, because this happened after blocks were formed. So reorg is, let's say there are about 2 or 3 blocks that's already confirmed. If somebody manages to get more than 50% of the hash rate, and they mine separate set of 4 blocks, but then the fifth block is basically put on the main chain, then those 5 blocks are now valid. Your
Okay.
previous transactions will not be valid anymore unless the same transactions are mined in the block. Then there wouldn't be an issue.
Okay, it's pretty serious actually. Like it is
Yeah,
very
yeah.
much possible.
This, yeah, I mean, if you can literally change the history, especially if it's a pretty long history, that should not happen in blockchain, right? That's what they say about security. I guess
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
way, Dash and Bitcoin Cash has fixed this issue. Uh, I forgot what Dash has. I think they have some sort of checkpoints, but on Bitcoin Cash there is something called as rolling checkpoints. So for
Hmm.
every 10 blocks, there basically is a checkpoint which says this is the right uh, point in the blockchain.
We mind. Okay.
Yeah. So you can't, on Bitcoin Cash, you cannot reorg more than 10 blocks.
Sure, sure.
I am not sure about Dash. Dash has the same thing.
Solved by Satoshi. So this was like a recap of what Satoshi did in his white paper was being redone on the Bitcoin news.bitcoin.com. So they were just talking about how the Byzantine triple entry ledger was like happening since a long time, and then now it's on the blockchain, and the Byzantine issue has been solved by him. And I think if the Byzantine issue, if I'm not wrong, was been an issue which was happening since about at least 1,000 years since.
Well, the concept is, really old, but it's only applicable in the digital format. So that, in a true sense, that can only be applied in the digital format.
True, true.
That's why
Yeah,
for things like money, like electronic money, that concept is really important.
amazing. Yes. Okay, I think we have most of us here. We can start now. I'll just introduce and everything, and we can start. Just switching on Facebook. If you give me 1 second. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Bitcoin Cash Meetup. We can call it a crypto meetup. So we kind of talk about everything because anything that we talk about in crypto affects in Bitcoin Cash, and the things we talk about Bitcoin Cash also affects the crypto space. So this is one of the meetup groups. We were doing it from a long time. We call it a Bitcoin in crypto we trust meetup group. We've been doing this for a long time. I'm the host. My name is Vikram, and I have a startup called Insta Crypto. This is my second one. My first one was UnoCoin. UnoCoin back in 2013. I started that, founded that, and now we are doing Insta Crypto. Insta Crypto is slightly different to UnoCoin for a reason because we've already done a custodial exchange. Now we are creating doing a non-custodial exchange as services. So just be careful about that. And in terms of how Bitcoin Cash is coming along, we allow Bitcoin Cash on our exchanges because of the way Bitcoin Cash confirms instantly, and also the transaction fees are much, much lower. In terms of Insta Crypto, of course, with amount of experience that I have come across in the crypto space from 2010, I've been actively talking about crypto, starting with my friends and family in the beginning, till I bought my own cryptocurrency, which was in 2011. I bought some bitcoins from bitcointalk.org because if I remember right, there was only one exchange called Mt. Gox available at that time. And sadly, most of the people who bought through Mt. Gox and traded to Mt. Gox had to come across, the hacking that went on it and things like that. But buying in through local.bitcoin.coms helped me understand cryptocurrency a little bit more, and learned a lot about it, including holding my own wallet and securing my own bitcoins. That's exactly what we're trying to do with Insta Crypto here again, because Insta Crypto allows you to learn a little bit about cryptocurrency, hold your own cryptocurrency, secure your own cryptocurrency, have full custody of your cryptocurrency, and not necessarily allow anybody else to hold that. And also the way we work is an instant exchange. So if you were using cryptocurrency to make any payments, settlements, value transfer around the world, InstaCrypto makes it very easy. You just feed in the address and then you make the payment via UPI payments only. So that is something that I'd like to talk about in a bit. With UPI payments only, you make a transaction and your cryptocurrency directly is received by the person who should be received. Of course, the verification can be instantly checked online via many block explorers. That's how InstaCrypto is built. To InstaCrypto, it's only desktop operation via IMPS and everything till now. That is something which is going to be stopped by the 15th on the Independence Day of India. We're going to be moving on to only app version, and via app version, you will be paying with only UPI payments. The reason we're doing that is because it secures the buyer and the company and everything. Via UPI payments, you make an instant payment without any fees and things, and it secures that you made a complete transaction and we make sure the crypto is sent. So that way, vice versa also works. That means you can sell your crypto, instantly receive your funds in your bank. So that's Insta Crypto for you. And in the meetups, we talk about all crypto, like I said. And today, of course, we are talking about Bitcoin Cash. And just a week ago in Bitcoin Cash, we had a 3-year anniversary. And our the third year anniversary celebration was on the 1st of April, 1st of August. It went really well, and we just like touching base on what all developments that's been happening with Bitcoin Cash space. Mind you, anything to do with crypto in terms of development or in terms of topic that you want to talk about, you're welcome to do so, because like I said, all these cryptos kind of work similarly, and we're happy to talk about all of it. So thank you very much. You guys, whoever has joined our meetup, some of you are new. Please, introduce yourself at any point of time you want to come up with your question or you want to have a concern that you want to talk about. Just put in a message and unmute your mic, and then you can speak to us and ask your question, and we are happy to talk about. The meetup is to get awareness in crypto space, adoption in crypto space, and share knowledge. So everyone is welcome. Thank you very much, and let's start. So just now, Kuldeep said he was coming, and guess what? He just joined. So what a timing. Hi, Kuldeep. Can you hear us?
Hey, hi Vikram. Hi
Nice to
everyone.
hear you. Hi, Kuldeep. Yes, I heard you first time. So it's, yeah, loud and clear. And you know that you've just been a week from Bitcoin Cash Day. So
Yeah,
in terms of Bitcoin Cash Celebration Day, we had quite a long, meetup session online. There was many groups, including the development group, which is there. And one thing that I noticed that Zapit wallet from Romit actually did not get enough time to
yeah.
explain the product and to talk about that. And I'm happy to have Romit also to say a few words about Zapit, and if you want to introduce the wallet to all of us, Romit.
Sure, thanks, Vikram. So yeah, I'm Romit, founder of Zapit.io. We are a Bitcoin Cash and SLP Token Wallet. So SLP Token is basically the token system built on top of Bitcoin Cash. We are a non-custodial wallet with services. Services include, like, you can top up your wallet, you can withdraw back your funds to your account. We actually support multiple payment methods across multiple countries, and all the services are basically secured. They're basically peer to peer, and the funds are secured in a non-custodial escrow. It's a one of a kind, and it's first time it's done in an app. Yeah, so the same thing works for remittances as well. So I like to say that we are probably the first peer to peer remittance service which involves fiat. Um, and then recently we introduced UPI payments for Indians. So on Zapid, you can actually make UPI payments, and for every single transaction that you make, you kind of get a token or a coin as a reward. It's a random token. It's a random amount that you get as a reward, but it's for every single transaction. So we are basically partnering with as many tokens as possible in the space who have an actual project going on, and we try to reward you with those tokens. And depending on the utility of the token, you can use it for whatever you want, or you could also sell it on any of the exchanges that it's listed on. So yeah, I guess that's the brief introduction of the wallet. You can use Bitcoin Cash, you can use rupees, you can use tokens. Basically, call it the universal payment app because we are allowing users to use it, uh, use your money however you want. That's it.
Well, great stuff. Thank you very much, Romit. It was great to understand that UPI and
Nice.
SLP is really unique in that, right? That's something which is very useful and very powerful. UPI payments, it's even quicker than your phone pay and your Paytm and those kind of things. I know you at the base of it, you should have those, but the way it executes a payment via Zapit is amazing. Also, the SLP, because SLP is something very new, it's simple ledger protocol that we're talking about. It's a new set of tokens, similar to ERC that's there on Ethereum blockchain. We've got Bitcoin Cash blockchain based SLP tokens. And these tokens are very well managed on Zapit wallet. And thanks to Romit about it. Kuldeep, I think you were saying something. Go ahead.
I was appreciating.
Surely,
Thanks,
sure.
Kuldeep.
Yes,
So
Sushmit?
yeah, and Shushmit is there. I think I couldn't hear him. Maybe he's got his mic, or maybe he's outside. It's
Yeah.
just to us. Well, I guess, guys, if you are not able to do a conversation on this channel, you can just leave a message, and we'll pick up the message and probably talk about it and answer your question. Or if it's this general topic, then we can definitely. So we got
Yeah,
Shushmit
he's
on.
aware.
Yes, yes. So yeah, Kuldeep, we were just talking about that part of Ethereum Classic being attacked and things. So I was just wondering if you have any insight on it and if you want to say something about that.
I just recently got to know about it. That's all. I didn't get into that much of details.
Sure, sure. So I had a point actually to make because we just had a conversation about Litecoin, and Litecoin's
Uh-huh.
developer Charlie Lee is not developing anymore. There are no real developers that's going
Yeah,
on. Still, Litecoin sits
that's right.
on top 10 with a great market cap. In terms of if you see the supply is not so tremendously high. It is just 4 times Bitcoin, but it's still it's got a nice position itself in the market cap. And of course, it was the second of the cryptocurrencies ever built, right? First was Bitcoin, second was Litecoin. So because of the adoption, I'm thinking it's really good. It's well adopted around the world, so that's why it's holding that position. But what surprises me is that we talk about so much about any coin development. So the development team for say any like ABC is for Bitcoin Cash, and Core is for Bitcoin, and many of course developers who are involved in all this coin development. And still Litecoin not having any development still is on the top. And what makes it stay there? Like even though there is no development happening.
I think it's a proven track record that, that there has not been any kind of a security breach, and it is actually being used by many people. And it was basically one of those altcoins where they were thinking that yeah, we'll solve some of the problem that Bitcoin has. So it's been here for a long time.
I
As
think, I
compared
think
to Chainlink and Cardano, these two they recently moved up in top 10. They they are through some tie-ups and literally a lot of hype, to be honest, as
okay.
of now.
So
Because as comparing how stable these are and the amount of work that is being put in into Chainlink and Cardano, I think Litecoin is like totally lost there. But still, there is a lot of loyalty. So I think that's why it's on top.
okay. So so that means like if somebody has developed at a certain level and then the adoption is taken over, like there's a lot of people who believe in it, holding Bitcoin, holding Litecoin, like using the wallets and things like that. So it's kind of stable by itself. So automatically it's got a stability right there with the adoption. And even if you don't develop anything new on the chain, the existing development continues to survive perfectly fine. I'm just comparing that
Yeah,
with
BTC.
oh, true that. You just made a great point there. But the point that I was trying to bring in was the Litecoin versus Ethereum Classic. Even Ethereum Classic has also been there so long. It has
Yes.
kind of great adoption. And what happens with the attack just because of how that was vulnerable like that?
Yeah, it recently happened, right? 51% attack on Thursday. So I think it was a pretty big reorg. Like if you have more than 51% of the chain and you are mining blocks, and you are the one who is basically building all the major blocks. So you can create a parallel chain and basically in some blockchains, what you do is if you have the longest chain, basically more it's tend to go that way, right? So it happened with a reorg, and they basically paid the payment to themselves from some other parties, and I think some sort of that sort of a scenario happened in here as well. But basically, there are not many miners, I guess, in Ethereum Classic as compared to Litecoin, because this is the second time this has happened. It happened a couple of months ago as well.
True that. In terms of the mining, both are on GPUs, right? They both don't have ASIC. Oh, I guess the Litecoin may have its own ASIC. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Not aware. It should be there.
There's also the issue that if the previous block has a transaction that has been reorged, then the next block cannot go basically cannot link to that, so that transaction is also lost.
Hmm.
So in that
Okay,
way also
okay.
users lose money in that sense.
True. In terms of how, just Kuldeep explain me about what may have happened or was like aware of that particular issue with Bitcoin, sorry, Ethereum Classic. If Litecoin also has to be sabotaged, your Charlie Lee could have done that. That means like because he controlled most of it, maybe not control the mining, maybe control the development only. So you're saying if mining
Yes.
was to be controlled like at that level, somebody could.
Yeah, one of the threat is there.
But if you see, it's on GPU, right? Mostly. That's what I have learned till now. But I did hear that ASIC was their specific ASIC for Litecoin, but I don't know how much of hardware is around. But of course, most of it is run on GPUs. Because GPUs are more out there mining different coins, if they all put that as a miner, if he has a lot of GPUs and if he wants to just concentrate all of his hardware into just Litecoin and want to manipulate, maybe it's still possible. But I wonder why Litecoin is still so secure. Is it purely because of the way the adoption is more?
Think so.
Sure, maybe like I think that could be possible because if there is no specific hardware and if it's on GPU, all of the Ethereum is running on GPU, right?
I'll be back in a moment.
Cool, cool. So yeah, in terms of hardware, whatever I've come across is mostly Bitcoin that runs on ASIC. Now Bitcoin, of course, goes with Bitcoin Cash, SV. Uh, Everything else that runs on GPUs. GPU. That's why, since if I'm not wrong, since 2013, GPU hardware sales have gone skyrocketing in India. And I have met personally one investor, and that investor came to know about cryptocurrency because his friend's shop was selling out on GPU cards, the graphic cards, and then the demand for graphic cards was so high that his friend made a little bit of research and found out that the GPU cards were used for mining cryptocurrency, and then he checked into what is cryptocurrency and came across Bitcoin, and then he told his friend saying that my shop's graphic cards are getting sold out for crazy, and then I'm ordering like crazy numbers, and there are pre-orders also. So him and his friend like did more research because they were at an investor level with a lot of money. They approached us to invest into Uno Coin at that time. So this was their story, how they came across cryptocurrency of Bitcoin at that time. So the graphic cards are really the next one, right? They're just after ASIC, which is specific to Bitcoin. After that is the graphic cards, which are like controlling the most of the mining around for cryptocurrencies. So when I heard about that story from this investor, I found it really intriguing. I was like, wow. So these graphic card sales are like really up now, and this is like the rest of all the coins, because that time Ethereum, I think, was getting popular. Litecoin was what was popular already then, and which is going to be on the graphic cards, unlike ASIC, which is for Bitcoin only. Anyway, so the point I was trying to make, Romit, you can also join on that particular point that I'm making now, is like if you have all of this, and then if somebody like Charlie Lee leaves, and still we are on Bitcoin Cash specifically, and we're on Bitcoin Cash, if the developers are like continuously trying to, make excuses for a lot of things about developing on the chain, and then we have forked also in terms of previously, because of which we have two coins now, which is SV and BCH, of course. The threat is back again, right? So what happens even if the developers leave? Should we just continue with this chain?
We
Okay.
back.
Hi, Kuldeep. Nice to be back. But I think Romit is just off the.
Yeah, Romit is not here.
I thought he was here, and I was continuing to talk to him. Anyway, so the point was like in Bitcoin Cash, there's a little conflict that's going on with the developers again. And
Yes.
before, if we know right, and that particular like the conflict gave us two coins, which is SV and BCH, and it's
Yeah.
come back again. And if with this
Yes.
kind of a thing, if we are so dependent on the developers, I'm comparing it to Litecoin, where the developer just left, and then Litecoin still survives, still being on the top 10, has a market cap over a lot of other coins, even though the supply is not so great. Because if I remember right, it was just 4 times Bitcoin, and the supply is also the same.
This is really this is a major flaw. See, what happens is there has to be a system of governance, right? So in some of the new change and new blockchains that are coming, there is a system of treasury and governance, right? You can vote on it, and things like that. If there has to be some sort of a monetary benefit for somebody who is working on the chain. Some developers who just work for the sake of because they want to work on it, that's a different thing. But let's say the central entity is concerned with the development of the chain, that basically adds a lot of power to it. What they can do is just like Blockstream is doing, they are working on the chain, and side by side they are providing some sort of tools which only they can provide. Mostly, of course, other people can also provide, but they are providing those tools, those services, those consultancies. Basically, they have created an entire system where they can easily generate a lot of revenue out of it. This seems to be a much better approach than as compared to what we are seeing. That's why we are constantly seeing a lot of splits. Uh, as you said, in BCH there might happen, but I don't think so, because I've seen so many signatures done by so many people who are pioneers in Bitcoin Cash, and I don't think the other party has that level of support, so that will ultimately lead into a split, and basically a recognizable split. It can be there. Split can happen anytime, but it has to be followed by many people, right? I don't
True.
think that two will happen this time.
Yeah,
Who
you're
knows?
right. If it's 90-10, of course the 10 does not get enough support, and they don't want to run their own chain because eventually it will not sustain. So they just leave that and come back to join the remaining 90 and then continue. Similarly, it had happened about a few months ago where
Ethereum.
the developer went ahead and still implemented the particular thing to get a share of the mining profits into the developer's hands. But since he was the minority, he was just like about 10% or lower. He just
Right.
like went off it, and then even though he had implemented it, he took it off and then joined the main chain again. So that way
Yeah.
it works really well. The majority then understands that this should continue, and then the minority will join back because they don't get enough support. Unlike when Bitcoin Cash itself happened and SV happened, there was close to some 60-40 or 55-45, something like that.
Correct.
Then Okay, okay. So,
They
you know,
were mining on loss at that time. They were just
yeah.
putting their own money. Even something like this happened with Ethereum and Ethereum Classic as well. There was a conflict whether we should go roll back or not because there was a hack on the funds. So some decided that yeah we should go, which is Ethereum right now, and some decided not to go with it. And it was a shortage percentage, but it was still there. So that's Ethereum Classic.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And
Okay,
eventually, people
okay.
lost faith in Ethereum Classic, and the developer basically the Ethereum has become king right now. So there are a lot of people, a lot of developers who joined this community. Tons and tons of projects are coming on top of Ethereum. So even if Ethereum Classic was right, it's not the winner.
True, true. So the part that it allows the development on Ethereum, not on Classic, just help more developers join Ethereum and then continue developing on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of those things I'm wearing a t-shirt today was wanted to show you that. So it's so apt about. Check this out. Don't.
It's so nice.
So this
Whenever I
fits
come to
both.
Bangalore, I want one. I want one.
This fits both the Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, SV and Ethereum, because
Awesome.
in a way that's what it is, right? So you try to split.
Yes.
The bigger the group, the stronger it is. So I think
Yeah.
that's what makes now for me to believe that Litecoin just continues to just stay there because it's just a value proposition. There is no development on terms in terms of how they would like to say smart contracts and things. Nothing was worked on that. It just being there as a currency, and then because
Right.
the community is huge and it's a second coin. It was developed in 2010. It's maybe the second, yeah, it is the second longest time in terms of being there in the world. And they are very specific to that. That's why there is no splits. There is no even talk about going half and half, forking, nothing, because it's just a coin. And if I'm right, Litecoin was very quickly adopted by a lot of people who were believing in Bitcoin. The second coin that was accepted underground was Litecoin. Tor networks were all there, accepting Litecoin. Wallets were built for Litecoin, things like that. So very nicely, it is staying on, and it's even gained in value. I think just like last week, right? It went up quite a high. Like
That
how?
is totally independent of what is happening in the developer community or whatever. It's just totally speculative. It's totally dependent on what what whales want basically. Like recently, like 3 or 4 days ago, when there was a pump, it was a difference of around $178 million. That's how much they do within a day. Like I saw a chart of it. I think it was of Bitwix.
Okay,
Yeah, so I was going through. I was just trying to understand what these people are going for, because this time their strategy is totally different. They first pumped and dumped the altcoins, then they chose the main, the one that are already tried and tested for them, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all that, and then they chose a different segment, which was basically Digibyte and some tokens that are on top of Ethereum and things like that.
okay. So the
Yeah.
value that you gave was the on-chain transactions or the value transacted on the chain?
No, it was within the. I think it was a margin trade or something like that.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that
There was
way
a
I
single
think.
part. So they what they do is they plan it together, and together they short, together they long.
Of
And
course.
yeah, so
Because they're
something like that.
pioneers now. I think NYSE has shown them, New York Stock Exchange is the daddy of all manipulations. So they've shown them a lot of things can be done this way. And the small exchanges with their cryptocurrency are trying out those things to, of course, benefit.
Correct.
So in terms of Litecoin being popular, I think is purely depending on the economics of value transfer and payments and settlements. So that part of the economics that we really need, uh, because like I said, it was the second most popular currency on the underground market after Bitcoin. So there is this market which is flourishing. Of course, the smart contract markets is like new, but before that was like really economics of it, because uh, one of the reasons how Bitcoin became popular, right? When Julian Assange, his funding got stopped by Visa, Mastercard, PayPal, and bank transfers from the US. Suddenly, Bitcoin was the preferred choice of funding Julian. So when that happened, straight away, this one, Satoshi wrote a comment saying that this is a little bit quick that his coin was getting popular like that way.
Yeah,
Couple of
that's
months
right.
after that, he disappeared from the face of
Yeah,
the
the
earth.
government was involved. He was like,
Yeah,
nope, I'm out of here.
true, true. So Litecoin is just quietly doing that job, because the only difference between Litecoin and Bitcoin today is Bitcoin just asks for a lot of fee for a small payment, and Litecoin is doing it for a small fee. So I think it is still popular in the economic world, and because of that, the adoption is still good. The price is still good. I completely believe in that. I don't have to know the real market share of how much it is used in payments. But if it is not there in payments, what kind of useful character that the Litecoin has? It doesn't have any market like smart contract characters. It has a pure payments character. So maybe that's why it is still popular.
Yeah,
Have
I
you
think
heard?
so. I have not been into Litecoin at all, like whatsoever. According to me, it was a dead project as soon as I got to know that they stopped the development. I was like,
Yes.
okay, I don't have to waste my time on this anymore.
No, totally, totally. There are two dead projects like that. If I may say, you're 100% right. It's a dead project in terms of development part of it. Litecoin and
Correct.
Dogecoin. But what is
Doge was just for
the
fun.
Yeah, Dogecoin was just for fun. Even the developer himself brought it down by saying, I don't support it anymore. I just did it for the sake of fun. And what
Yeah,
keeps it on the top 25 in market cap? Like if I go to coin market cap today, Dogecoin is still on the top 25. It's on the 24th.
very true.
That's pretty high, because you have for 20,000 coins, which is really popular, out of which, say, 10,000 or ERC tokens, like so many have been built on it. Maybe not all popular, of course, but if Dogecoin, without anything being supported on it, it's just the value transfer technology that's going on strong on those, I guess.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Pirate Bay?
Sorry?
Pirate Bay.
I think I heard about it.
It's one of those torrent sites a long time ago. It was like the first ones I saw, which had Litecoin being accepted on it. So that was a surprising
Okay.
thing to me then, because I had not seen Litecoin as much, and then I suddenly saw these guys are accepting it. It was way back, before anything else was even there, and that's just then when Dogecoin was trying to be, conceived. Like,
Probably because the choices were very less.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
Probably because the choices were very less.
Yeah, yeah, totally, totally. At that time,
Yeah.
the choices were very less, very true. If the people got onto that, and now that the choices are many, but it's still, I see that Litecoin just went up in price a week ago, and it's staying strong. It's sixth on Coin Market Cap. Amazing to be on the top 10, because they're not, nothing has been pushed. Like Cardano and things have a lot of technological advancements that they are developing, and it's already developed and published. Uh, that gives sense for it to be on the top. But with Litecoin
Yeah.
being on the top is pretty good.
It's
Anyway,
just love.
love to have an alternative to going against the federal bank. Fed, New York, are you listening to this? You should listen to this. You guys are not competing anywhere, and I think you guys are going to go down very quickly, because there's too many competitions for you, and they're all decentralized, and they're all giving you a run for your money. I guess this is recorded, so eventually they can listen to
You never know.
it. Well, Snowden said that long time ago. They are listening to it.
Yeah, I read his book.
Well, it was quite in detail about what all has
Yeah, I loved
happened.
it.
Yeah, it was like fucking amazing. The things that Obama administration did to make sure they caught Snowden was they went way beyond. their league to try and get him. That just gave a confidence to Russia to give them asylum, to give Snowden asylum.
Yeah,
So every action has got an equal reaction, right? So that kind of thing happened. So the more they try
that is
to,
how his book got so popular, right? They were like, we are not allowing you to publish it because it's not reviewed by us and things like that. And it suddenly gained so much popularity just because they were opposing it. And he was on so many TV shows and so many news channels uh, and telling about his book.
that's
Backfired.
like, yeah, that's amazing, right? You're trying not to give publicity to that book by not publishing it. Automatically gave. That's like the new world of internet. Internet just like gives that edge to anybody now. You can just post your blog out there with your own domain. You don't have to like fall in the queue to get your book published because there are too many people who are reviewing it and then not letting you come up with your book because it's too controversial for them. It's not necessarily being controversial; it's just being the truth. Sometimes they cannot handle it.
Agreed.
So it's like we're just a core team kind of remained today. It's because of the main topics that we are talking about, and
Yeah,
the last week we had a lot of people come in is because of the price. So the price just brings in a lot of interest in meetups of cryptocurrency.
yeah, that's right.
And this week it's stable, but this week's stability in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and those coins, it's not completely stable. It's just fluctuating less than what it did a week ago. So this week it's fluctuating with the remaining altcoins. So there is like a kind of pattern that I have seen that first, if it's Bitcoin that gains in price, then of course it has to be Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash. And those after that, XRP after that, then comes the remaining coins.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's right.
the cycle goes on again. Then comes Bitcoin. The daddy comes up
As
again.
soon as Tether is more printing happens on Tether, there is going to be a spike within a week. That is inevitable in some cases.
True, true.
I've
I
seen
think
it so many times. I literally saw it on when I was looking at Binance that the other day.
okay.
It's when I was in Bangalore. Like,
Okay, this is when you
yeah,
were in Bangalore. Okay, tell me about
yeah,
this
one and a
tether.
half a year ago. Uh-huh.
True, true. Are you able to monitor the whole market cap of tether, supply cap?
Yeah, it's at 10 billion, right?
Is that the top or is it what is floating now? Because I can see it in market cap. Let me just check.
That is the total supply. And
Okay, because
it's exchange hand 3.3 times. The total volume is 33.
okay, because it is
Yeah, 33.
centralized, I was just wondering how much of manipulation can they do, and then would we really get to know about the final numbers of circulating supply?
The supply is this one, but whether there is a backing for this supply, that's not certain.
Okay, it's true that that is very
Yeah,
very hard to sustain because they will never
that's
ever
right.
have full backing for tether because they're printing tether according to the demand. The demand is very high. Everybody who's getting into crypto loves a stable coin now. So they
Right.
have to get into tether first, and because most of the exchanges allow you to trade with tether easier than your own fiat. So that way, the tether demand has been met by their supply, their printing. uh, there's never going to be that kind of backing. How are they going to keep backing that kind of value before
Correct.
they print it? Nobody's going to do that. When somebody daddy is showing that he's not going to back anything and printing 5 trillion in 1 month, guys are talking about
Man,
this again in this call on this meetup, and it's going to be on Facebook when you listen to this. 5 trillion was printed by US, counterfeited by US federal bank. They call themselves the central bank of the world, like how we have RBI in India, the federal bank in the New York is like the central bank of the world. They printed 5 trillion in 1 month, when actually the whole gold in the world is counted for just 9 trillion. So that means more than half the gold's worth they printed in just 1 month. That kind of a counterfeiting is going on in the US. That's one of the reasons why gold prices are going up. One of the reasons why cryptocurrency prices and Bitcoin prices will shoot up. It's already showing you. It was nothing. It's got about 140,000x from its start, and in about 18 months that I'm expecting, by end of 2021, we're expecting Bitcoin price to be close to 100,000, which is 70 lakh rupees to 1 crore rupees in Indian. That's a
Yeah, you
lot,
never
right?
know.
But that's what will equally match to the printing and the counterfeiting that went on with the federal bank. If it didn't come up that price, we're not doing something right. So if we are doing something right in the crypto space, if all the crypto guys are listening to this, if you are thinking that yes, you are in the right market, right business, right development space, uh, it price has to go up that amount of times. If it did, then we look like we have zero knowledge about economics.
Yeah, true.
Well, the truth will unveil itself in 18 months. Now it's just speculative, but yes, we'll know if we are right or wrong by end of December 2021, because the bull run is on the 21. There was, if you see, there was one kind of pattern that was followed by Bitcoin till 2013, which was the first bull run. It had many bull runs in that 4 year span, 4.5 year span. But after that, it kind of is showing its real bull run once in 4 years.
Yeah, not exactly bull run. There we gain huge amounts, but as compared to that, कि it goes from, let's say, $1 to $15, you can call it a bull run.
50x is a good bull run, actually, if you see.
Yeah, yeah,
It takes about some time, and then it brings in a lot of people, because from 1x, 1 to 50, from 1 to 2, you're bringing in double the population in a way. Because a lot of people who would have heard about Bitcoin now wants to put in double the amount of what they heard about in the previous. So that's 1x. If you go up to $1 to 50, that means it's bringing in a lot of adoption, a lot of people into the space with their money, in terms of a lot of money. If you remember right, till 2017 January, it had never crossed, in Indian rupee, it had never crossed 70,000 rupees, which was the top in 13. So, and after 13 December, it had never touched 70,000 rupees. It was fluctuating always below that. When it touched again 70 was in beginning of 2017. And after it touched 70,000, it didn't look back. It only went ahead and went ahead and went up till 13 lakh rupees. So you understand, from 70,000, if it went to 1,40,000, it's brought in the double of the adoption. Means a lot of people know about it. 17 made sure everybody in the world hear about Bitcoin, but
yeah.
necessarily not everybody owns it with their money being invested in it. So the money invested by those people after 17 were all paying in higher price. And some people paid very, very high price still when it was after 10 lakhs. That was a very high price. The problem with that is that their price that they paid at that time didn't last for them very long. So it dropped very quickly after that for the market correction. So half of them panicked and sold at loss. So their price, what they lost, is what got into the crypto space. Then some people held on to it, even though they paid so high. And only now, if you see, it went close to 10 lakhs. It's not even there yet. It's still at 9. So that means anybody who paid after 10 till 13 lakhs have still not believed in Bitcoin, because they're in loss. So they will not believe in it till it touches 13 and then goes above it. There's a nice story to it also. I will tell you that story. It's a very amazing story. So one of my first founders, along with UnuCoin, it was just me and this guy. Later, who's managing UnoCoin now, have all come later. So they're all just CTOs and COs and all those. They're not founders. They just call themselves sometimes, but they're not founders. So the real founder who's there with me, his dad lived in Canada, was a financial person. He was working for banks. So what happened was, in January 2013, the price of Bitcoin was around some 70, 80,000. It had just touched about 200, 250 dollars, and it had come down around $80 to $100. So my friend the founder of UnoCoin, just like told his dad, see, this is something so good. I've been following for so long. I have such a big team in Bangalore. We go for meetups. Me and him were organizing all the meetups. Like we were the two main speakers in the meetup. Benson, who's the India moderator for BitcoinTalk.org, he was the one who started the meetup, and we both used to talk about the product in the meetups. So he used to tell me about it. So he told his dad, this is what is happening in India and is actually catching up the whole world. Please buy into it. So his dad, listening to him, went ahead and bought at the time when the peak price was $250. So he bought into it beginning of 2013, and just after that, the market correction started. So the price dropped to back again to $100. It stayed on $100 for a long time. So in this period of 3 to 4 months, the founder of UnoCoin, my friend, along with me, two founders, he could not call back to his dad and speak to him. Every time when he called his dad would be like, "Hey, you told me to buy this Bitcoin, and it's crashed, and I lost $150 each, and I don't remember exactly how many coins he bought, but there was quite a bigger loss that he was going on." And later, it did happen that the friend didn't even take calls from his dad because he's like, "Oh my God, my dad is calling. I cannot take this anymore." He's like, he'll keep on telling me about this price. Then it went on for like few months, and then of course we've seen what happened in 2019. It shot up to $1,200. So by November 2013, it had already touched $1,200. Just after that, it was like a bliss. Every time his dad calls, he's like, "Oh yeah, dad, you saw it now, finally." So that happened to all of us, and this is just one of his stories. I have similar stories with me. Luckily, my dad just bought one Bitcoin. He bought only
Wow.
one, and he just wanted to try it out, right? Because of me. So he bought one, and it was not much of a hassle for me to try that, to listen to him. But he didn't even speak about it actually. But of course, after the price hike, he was very happy. My brother bought into it. Luckily, when I pushed my brother to buy into it, it was much lower. So just after him buying, it went to bull run. So he was very happy. But before he bought into it, there was an hassle with me and my brother. He was always like, "What are you doing with your life?" I'm like, "I'm doing Bitcoin." "What is that?" You heard from me from a long time, from 1.5 years, 2 years. How many more times should I explain to you? Obviously, he didn't understand because it's not an easy topic, right? In 2012, 13. So this was just one of those stories I started off because of that friend of mine, his dad's conversations with him. So this is stories of Bitcoin, and it's not small. I think these are things which made crypto really popular in the world. And his dad is now a very good fan of it. My dad is a big fan of it. Now I get to hear about it so much from my dad that the pros that I talk about economics. He gets a little bit of understanding, and he listens to it, reads it a couple of days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. After that, he says, "Oh yeah, whatever you said was pretty good." He was like, "Yeah, that's what is going on," and I'm a happy man.
Awesome. Awesome. Really nice story.
Thank you, thank you. So yeah, I guess we have one new person. I want to just get to see if is this
Ola
show
Deepak.
live?
It's your life.
Yes. How are you, show live?
I'm fine. And you?
Nice to have you again. Very good. I'm good too.
I
So
was
tell
just
me what.
listening to your experience. I was just listening to your experience about Bitcoin with your brother, friend, father, right? It's
Yeah,
good to
yeah.
hear that.
Oh, it's one of those stories, right? They all those stories actually made this so popular because if you see what is it, it's a product which is competing and going neck to neck with something like gold, and gold has been there ages. Like we are talking about gold being there for 10,000 years plus. So if you are competing with something like that with digital gold, and brings in that kind of a features to digital world. We are on the digital world with the internet, and we needed something digital gold, and we have this today. And our 10,000 years worth of history has been rewritten here on digital format. And these are the small stories to it, because if you see some gold stories from the past, there was big mining places being controlled by big people, mined and shipped gold all around the world. made like a lot of dollars, billions of dollars, I guess, for their company and their thing, because gold was the popular thing and it still is. And to match something like that with digital currency and Bitcoin, it has to have that kind of stories in its growth. So this is one of those things.
Nice.
So tell me, how's it going with you back in your place? If I may correct myself, you're from Ghana, right? I'm sorry, I can't remember from last time. So, like,
What did you say?
yes, I was just checking. How is it going back in your place? What's the stories from your end that we'd like to listen to?
Well, so far so good. Lockdown is getting relieved a bit. Some offices are opening, but
Okay,
hopefully we are expecting the government to release schools to resume back to school.
okay. So, is it back again already now, or they've given a date ahead that they will start then?
No, no date yet, but
The plan to open.
there's rumor in the air that it's possible we resume September.
Okay. I think some of the
Yes,
colleges here are given a date of October. So, more or less similar time. I think everybody's pressurizing. They want to get back to their routine. I think so.
of course.
So yeah, refresh my memory. I'm sorry, I forgot. You're from Ghana, right?
Nigeria.
Nigeria. My bad. So
Yes.
at least you're from the west side of the Africa. So that part I got right.
Sorry?
Uh, it's you're on the west side, right? Nigeria.
Sorry, I didn't get that. It's breaking, kind of.
Okay, no problem. So you Ghana is your neighbor.
Yes, yes.
So you guys on the
Just
west.
by air it's about 45 minutes. By road about 24 hours,
Hmm.
28 hours thereabouts.
Oh,
In
that's not
India, we
far
can't
from.
reach to
So
work in
I know
45 minutes.
Africa looks very close to each other in terms of
Yes. I have Cameroon. I share border with Cameroon, with Cotonou, um, um, right? So I share
Yeah, you were
boundary with
saying.
some of these countries.
Yeah, I think Vikram got disconnected along with Romit.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, let's wait for him. I think they got disconnected. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Yeah. I think they got disconnected. So let's wait for him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Romit is
Hello?
Okay,
back.
welcome back, Romit.
Oh, could you guys not
Romit is
hear
off
me
again.
before?
Okay,
No, you got disconnected, bro.
No, could you not hear me
Romit
when
is
I
back.
was. Oh, you could not even see
No.
me.
Yeah, that's right.
Meetup.
I was trying to speak, but I guess you guys could not hear me.
Yeah, we couldn't hear you at all, and I also
Really?
got off, got cut off. Go ahead, Roman.
Okay. Well, I forgot what I was going to say that time, but I did try to comment on a few of the things that you guys spoke. I thought I was, kind of. Yeah, I didn't know you guys couldn't hear me. Hello, Showlight. Good
Yeah,
to
I'm
see you
with
guys.
you.
Yeah,
Romit,
you were
I'm with
saying
you.
about the. It takes 45 minutes in flight to go to Ghana, right?
Yes,
I was
yes.
trying to comment that in 45 minutes in India, we can't even reach to our workplace. It takes longer than that.
Nice.
Yeah, due to the traffic and stuff.
But you can go to Chennai in 45 minutes via flight, of course.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, flight, I think it's not far, but it's just getting to the plane is going to be about 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes three times the time to go to the airport than to go to another city.
That's serious.
So yeah, I think we were. What were we talking about?
So this one of the points that I was trying to bring in was about Hex. Anybody who's got an update on that, I just want to understand because Hex took about 5
Hex.
million in Ethereum when the price were low. Now he must have been having about 20 million. Conveniently got the funding for his Hex. And what happened to the update after that from Richard Hart? Did we hear anything?
Well, one thing I know is that one of the developers of Hex has clearly said that it's really scammy. So
Yeah. I got it. I spoke to him too. I forgot about that. So he didn't want to even talk
yeah,
about it. He said, "Yeah, sure."
yeah.
What are we talking about? What is Hex?
You don't know Richard Hart?
No, give me context.
Oh, you don't know Richard Hart? He was pretty popular in the crypto YouTube space. He used to do like crazy interviews where he used to literally destroy everyone in debates. He was really
I might
knowledgeable
not
though.
know by name, I guess.
Okay, yeah, I don't know whether he's still making YouTube videos, but yeah, you can find his older videos. Um, he used to be like a full-time BTC maximalist. Um, After I guess the first drop, after the 20K drop, he kind of stopped being so bullish on Bitcoin. But seemed like he was launching his own coin. That's why he stopped being the BTC maximalist. Then he was like, "Oh,
Wow.
BTC sucks. Buy Hex," which was his own coin.
Okay.
Well, he did say a little bit pro to Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and everything. So he kind of got a good understanding about how Bitcoin is not the only thing and how Bitcoin was now colluded by these few developers and doing their own block stream on the sideways, not necessarily developing any more of Bitcoin. He used to interview or have a very good counter questions and attacks on Craig Wright and all those who used to bluff a lot about cryptocurrencies on main stages. Like he was part of many conferences and all those kind of things, bringing in good points. Eventually, what happened was with all that, he just started his own coin called Hex, and he took a lot of funding for his Hex, and he sold his Hex for Ethereum. He took up to 5 million Ethereum,
Wow.
for which he gave Hex.
Actually, yeah, everybody knows that it's his address, but he never revealed it. He said that it would basically violate the Howey test. So he didn't want to reveal who actually gets the uh,
Ethereum.
Ethereum. He just said it's a contract address. That's it. It was pretty
No, of
clever
course.
in a way.
He was clever because the US government was coming very strong on anybody collecting Ethereum or any valuable token or any valuable cryptocurrency for their token. So he had to collect it. So because of that, he didn't reveal that he never said it was his. But most of them in the community knew, but they still funded. They gave him up to $5 million equivalent in Ethereum. To those Bitcoin holders, he gave his Hex for free. Anybody holding Bitcoin proved that they are holding Bitcoin through their private signature from their wallet. As soon as we sent the signatures, which even I did, we got a lot of Hex and we stored it. But I want to test out, of course. The guy is good. At least he's knowledgeable. He knows what he was talking about. He was a little late for his ICO. By the time, of course, US government was coming down hard on those people in the US, whoever wanted to start their ICOs. So he did it after that. So he had to be, smart in making sure that he still collects that. So he did it that way, telling that it is not his address to collect the Ethereum. But hey, of course, we all know he's not going to go sit on any smart contract was going to his address.
Interesting.
So, well, before that, many people did in ICOs. So, this was, did he call it an ICO? I think he may have, I don't remember him calling it an ICO, but it was similar.
No, ICO would have been gone to one particular organization. Since he hid the source of payment, it wouldn't. I don't think it would be an ICO.
Well, for those who are on listening to me on Facebook, I would like to just explain what is an ICO. ICO is called an initial coin offering. Initial coin offering is similar to an IPO. IPO is done on New York Stock Exchange. New York Stock Exchange will, or even the London Stock Exchange, will throw an IPO for your company, giving out most of your shares, like 50% of your shares, to public, so that you get well funded for your company to take it to the next level, to scale your company to the global level. With ICO, it's similar. You're trying to get funding from the people, of course, but in an ICO, you're not getting any support from companies like your stock market, like London or New York. So London and New York don't get to control your shares. You're an ICO. The person who's launching an ICO will get complete control of the money that he makes and he collects from the people. That's why the US government is completely against it, and they don't want others to just make money like the way they make money. They don't want copycats, but they just want to be on the top making money and counterfeiting for themselves only. So that was the fight that was going on. So anybody who does an ICO anymore in the US are heavily come down by the government, and then they've been throwing people in jail. So this is what happened with Hex. Hex did an ICO, kind of a similar thing, but he didn't call it an ICO. He still raised a lot of funds. That's one part of it. He raised 5 million USD worth of Ethereum. Of course, that Ethereum was well low priced at that time, and now the price of Ethereum has gone 4 times at least. So he holds at least 20 million USD worth of Ethereum, plus his coins, plus a lot of things. That's an ICO. Well, if Janet Yellen from Federal Bank can fall and or like I may say, when she's been asked the right questions, she faints and she doesn't answer those. This is one tactic of Federal Bank. So Richard Hart has his own tactic. He said that was not his address. So yeah, that was a pretty good meetup today again.
Awesome.
Sushmit, I think we would have liked Sushmit to. Where is he? He's not there. He left actually. Okay. I would wanted to give a little bit more, heads up to Sushmit next time. Probably he can join and then give him some topic and then want to talk about it. He's pretty good in what when I spoke to him last. Kuldeep, you know him best.
Yep.
He was very excited about Lightning and everything. And was talking about a lot of things. He's good in marketing also, I guess, because he was very keen on that.
Yeah, that's right.
So hopefully we'll get him to also speak and get his points of view on the next time.
Yeah, he'll have definitely something to say. That's for sure.
Sure. So Sholite, if you are, of course you are listening, but you have anything to contribute to this conversation, I would love to have you also speak a little bit from your experience with the Zapit and from your PCH part of it.
So I'll just give an example. Were you talking to me or?
I said
I can't spell his name.
Sholite.
Sholite, right? Well, okay, yeah, you go ahead, Sholite.
Honestly, I'm still learning. I'm still learning from you guys. Mostly roommates.
Sure. But I really love those games that you have for Sundays, and very unique and very interactive. That's amazing for thing. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you
Thanks,
too.
Lloyd. Like you've done a really good job at handling the faucet group. I think,
Thank you.
yeah, especially on Sundays, it's pretty fun in the faucet group.
The best part is
Thanks
I
for
love the way
appreciating.
people respond, right? They are really looking forward to it and they wanted something and they're getting that. It's not just been pushed by us or any Zapit wallet in specific. It's the people who are looking forward to it, and that's what gets me, going. And I'm sure I'm joining only a little time in that, but the little time that I get, I can see a lot of it.
Thank you for appreciating it.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So, do you have any meetups going on there in Nigeria right now?
Basically, everybody involved in crypto are being coded.
I didn't understand that. When you say being coded, as in?
They don't make it obvious because the government is using enforcement to harass anyone who is involved in crypto. So to the point that if there's going to be any bank transaction between you and I
Okay.
for trading cryptocurrency, any form of cryptocurrency, you must not include anything crypto related in description. Else, that account will be blocked, and the person that owns the account, or both parties, the person transferring and the person receiving, will be tracked.
Wow, that's pretty strong in terms of censorship right there, huh? So they're saying if I make a transaction to buy crypto and I put in message saying that I'm buying crypto, say put crypto or Bitcoin, anything like that, so they track it down, shut both the person's account, sender and receiver.
Yes,
Wow, that's pretty
it's that
strong.
serious. But then guys are not discouraged.
Okay,
Daily,
of course.
more
See,
and more are coming into crypto. A lot, in fact, I have a lot of people who I seem to be grooming and orientating about cryptocurrency. And a year like this and next year is a period where we experience more traffic into cryptocurrency.
okay.
If you look back into history, like 2012, 2013, the population that moved into crypto was very high. And if you look at 2016, 2017, in fact, that was when crypto, Bitcoin most especially, and Ethereum became more popular. And then we are experiencing same again this period as some of the projects are already, proving to be bullish already, right?
Okay.
We already have some of them pumping, especially when you look into projects that are DeFi related. We have some of them that are pumping 1,000% even in a day. Like there's a particular token I hold. It's called Parachute.
Okay.
Just last night, it pumped 500%. I was like, wow! If I had this information, I would have put in at least $1,500 at least to get the 500% and then move out again.
True. It's all about the mass information,
So
right?
it's yeah,
Right.
yeah. So a year like this, and next year, early part of next year, we see a lot of people, a lot of newbies come into crypto because they are majorly. This is because a lot of people see crypto as a form of getting profit and move out. That's what a lot do. A lot of people do. You know.
Okay,
So
of course.
so we have in Nigeria here, we have a lot of people, getting to know more about crypto, most especially this period of lockdown. Personally, I have been using trading to feed at this period. That's
Okay.
been my major source of income at this period. And that's what a lot of people do to
You
this period
said
of
you said trading is your major part of the income that right now, right?
yes,
So
yes.
how do you trade now when you have such difficulty in terms of trading? So is there a trading exchange that's available?
Okay, I just there's a particular
Okay.
channel I get some of my information from, right?
True.
They
True.
just give you a time, they just suggest a time for you to buy and a time for you to sell. I try as much as possible to go a bit lower than what they advise to sell, and I just try as much as possible to be in between so I don't lose out in any way.
So I understand
And
that. I got it. In terms of here, when you have a trading exchange, those exchanges are very well regulated by the Companies Act in India. So they have made a company, a private limited company most of the time, and they have secured a bank account. That's how they're able to do trading. What you were saying is that they had to do outside of all that, so that like you said, with a smaller group of different channels, maybe through Telegram and that kind of thing, you have a group and then you trade with people.
mm,
Great stuff, great stuff. Of course, there is alternatives, right? This is what I say. It's like maybe that is not just yet. It it may be like even cash trading is also pretty big. So that
mm.
way, yeah, true that. Well, I think these are the things which makes crypto more resilient, because eventually you give them, not allow them to channel of regular banks, then there are many other ways people do it. And we had that in between from 17, not necessarily 17, from 18 till January 2020, because the banks were not allowed to support these companies. They are registered companies of the exchanges. What used to happen is some exchanges still operated, but made a P2P payments, that if I trade a crypto on this exchange and if I secure a crypto, how do I make a payment to this? I would, outside the exchange, I will make a direct payment from me to that person, to his address without mentioning crypto, similar like the way you said. And there were nice certain ways being built from a very popular exchange here, starts with W, and they built this platform to make peer-to-peer payments very nice and smooth, and made sure that the verification for that payments is clear, and that person receives that, and he allows me to receive my crypto for that, without exchange being the middle party for the fiat currencies to go through it. So that way, I think the more the regulations, the more stupid people on top don't understand cryptocurrency and trying to bring in stops on it, the more better the crypto becomes, because it finds
Sure.
alternative, and all these alternatives are flourishing.
That's true.
No, great listening to understanding a little bit more about what's happening in Nigeria. I had a couple of friends, and there is one more friend, and me and Romit both had a meeting with him long time ago. So he's also from Nigeria, from Laos, uh, Lagos, sorry. And
Yes, I'm also based in Lagos on the
nice.
island, Lekki. Yeah.
Oh, you're on the island, so it's not even the, isn't okay. That's like the premium places, right?
Yes, yes.
Amazing, amazing. So this friend of mine was very interested. He was here in Bangalore. He was having a conference very near my house. So that's how we met,
Okay.
and we traveled together at once. And he and me, Romit and me, both had a meeting with him. He was very interested in cryptocurrency, and he's not a crypto person. He's a business person. But since he is interested in this, would you be interested in meeting him and then getting this thing afloat? Because he's also very keen on getting something like Insta Crypto set up there.
It's
Of
not a
course,
problem.
okay,
That's
okay.
not a problem. I appreciate you link us together.
Definitely, definitely. I will pass you that link to Romit, and he will pass it on to you. So we can do that way.
It's fine. That's fine.
Great stuff, great stuff. I remember his name is Baba today.
Babatunde, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So definitely we will do this very soon.
It's alright. That's fine.
Great stuff, great stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
so it was great talking to you. I think we got a few more minutes. I think Kuldeep was on a topic that he wanted to talk about. Kuldeep, you can join, and let us have you as the last person, and then.
I was just gonna share my experience with crypto in Raksha Bandhan.
Oh,
So my
please go ahead. Tell
my
me.
sister lives in UK,
Uh-huh.
and so I wanted at least one more person from my family to know what crypto really is. So she is the one I chose, and I decided that I'll be sending her. You pay some money, right? You give some money to your sister when she ties the rakhi in your on your hand.
Of course,
So I
yes.
decided to pay some Bitcoin cash to her. And it was a really flawless experience, and she loved it.
Oh, amazing,
A really
amazing.
nice moment for me.
Please tell me
Yeah,
you use Zapit.
yeah, I'll let her know.
Now, this is coming from a ETH maximalist, so I loved it.
Sorry?
So I said this is coming, the Bitcoin transaction experience is coming from an Ethereum maximalist, is what I loved the most, I said.
No, I'm not a maximalist.
And not
Not at
necessarily about that particular point, but you built a nice product. It's a DeFi product on Ethereum. It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. That because at that time, me and Sushmit, we both were totally into Ethereum, and that was the time when we decided, okay, let's look at what this field has to offer. And
Okay.
Ethereum was really popular, and other systems which were supporting smart contracts were either centralized or they were not that popular, and they did not have that many library support so that we could build a stable product on top of that. Ethereum was the best choice for us, And that's why
Yeah,
we went for it.
totally, totally. Of course,
Yeah,
because
but
it's
I
not.
really love
Go
right
on, go
now.
on.
If you say some in some sense I might be a maximalist for Cardano, but not really, to be honest. Like I like free all the opportunities. Like I don't want to be like I don't want just one crypto to be something. I want multiple of them to be there, so that there are no central parties, or there are no selected few people who actually had a site that, yeah, in 10 years or 15 years our thing will be the best, and they'll get super huge money, and they just control whatever they want. I want multiple parties to want. There has to be some sort of a real good competition. The market should be there. People should have opportunity and things like that. I'm really happy if there are in BCH. There are a lot of the transaction is really really fast, and I love it.
Actually, I had something to ask. Kuldev, have you been following the recent drama that's happening
Yeah,
on
man.
BCH?
Yeah,
And are you
ABC
aware
and
of the 8% infrastructure funding that ABC has proposed? That the
yeah, yeah.
ABC thesis. What do you think? Like, what do you think about this?
To be honest, I have many thoughts about it. Like I'm waiting for a little more clarity on what happens in future, because
Okay, but
as of
do you
now
like
things are very uncertain.
support a node team basically taking Coinbase funds for their own development? Are you
Not
okay with
really.
that?
Not really.
Yeah, that's the same thing I guess majority of the Bitcoin Cash community has expressed. Um, Again, I personally am not against that, but what I would say I'm against is not allowing the freedom to say no.
Correct.
So it becomes like a permission chain in a way,
Exactly.
where
Yeah.
if somebody wants to run Bitcoin Cash, if they want to mine on Bitcoin Cash, but they don't want to pay the 8% fee to the developers, they're not
Mhm.
allowed to, which becomes in a way permission,
Yeah.
because
Shouldn't
you need,
happen.
in a way you're taking permission by saying, okay, we are going to pay 8% to you, let us allow to mine your version of the code.
Yeah, many other blockchains are coming up with similar solutions. As I
Like what?
said, treasury system, and if somebody wants to develop just like BCSP, right? Kickstarter, things like that
Yeah,
are
yeah.
still good enough, right? It
I
doesn't have to be this way. That the
Yeah, I
miners are
guess if
always going to give the money to them.
I guess if it was there from the beginning, right? Like for example, if
Correct.
Satoshi had added the
Exactly.
code and said, okay, this much percent goes to miners, this much percent goes to the node development, then it would have been fine. But if you're
I
adding it
know. I would
midway,
disagree.
why so?
Because I don't think that Satoshi had such a foresight that he could think of entire what was the entire elements of what that were to play in future. Like I'm sure if he did not include it, he was sure that as Vikram was saying, that he was really surprised when the Bitcoin was being used in dark market, and the government was being involved. Of course, he did not foresee it, right? And the same happens with the developers, and same happens
Actually,
with
he
the
did.
entire.
He
Actually, he
did.
did.
Actually, in a way, he did,
He
because
did.
it was. If you actually look at the entire way the economics of Bitcoin is
Uh-huh.
built, right? The reason that what do you call that? The reward basically goes down over time is he had the assumption that the transactions would go up and the fees per transaction would replace the Coinbase reward,
Yeah, agree.
right?
It's
So
because
that
the
was
block
already
was
built
open,
into the
right?
plan.
Basically, what I wanted to say by using this as an example was that that I'm sure that even if he might have invested 10 years in it, there would still have been some situations just like the governance that he would not have thought of. That's what I wanted to say. That's why
True.
many of the companies are coming, many of the blockchains are coming up with this.
Some part of it he did really see it because that's why the blocks were not capped at that time in the beginning. And what he said later was that when this guy got funding through Bitcoin, Julian Assange, he said it was pretty quick, that he did not expect this quickly Bitcoin to be used in that format. In that
Ah,
sense, means it was going against the government already. So that was the thought that he had. Maybe both of you
Yeah,
guys are right in that.
he didn't want WikiLeaks to use it because it would bring bad press to Bitcoin. I don't think it was like people using it in general.
Yeah.
well, I went through a couple of chats and couple of emails that were published online. So in some scenarios, I saw Satoshi being surprised of some situations. So that I just took that assumption into the
Maybe,
scenario. Yeah.
maybe that's there as well. But no, what I'm talking about is something like Dash, right? Dash, when it was, I think, set up, they already had a percentage of the Coinbase rewards going to development.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, this I
Yeah.
missed. So Dash has a setup like that, that the Coinbase percentage goes to the developers.
Yeah, so they have multiple things actually, not just they have in a way for marketing, for development, for everything. It's kind of set up in that way through these master nodes, right?
Okay.
But since the rules were set up like that for Dash, then it it's it's okay. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But for
Yeah.
Bitcoin to introduce it in midway, like after 10 years, to basically change the rules of how it basically works is kind of scary because tomorrow you can actually keep increasing it from 8% to 12, 16, 18. Where does it stop?
No, that's right. That's right. The percentage is what gets me mind boggled, because the percentage today is set according to the price that it has today, because that's the price that they need for their development, compensation for their hours. But what happens when the price shoots up to like 10x, like when the bull run happens? Their percentage of value that they get is a lot more higher to what miners should be getting, because miners are spending that equivalently with hardware and electricity, so they should get that percentage high. But when the developers themselves get it, what's been
Actually,
happening with Dash then? So how long Dash has
no.
been on?
Actually, in Bitcoin Cash, because the DAA, the difficulty adjustment has actually been fixed, which is not fixed in BTC or BSV, the miners are actually going to be more profitable to mine BCH after this next fork.
Okay.
Mainly because it actually incentivizes you to stay on Bitcoin Cash. Anyone who switches to BTC or BSV, they pay the 8% fee. Anybody who stays on BCH, they don't really get um,
Penalized.
they basically get the similar amount of Coinbase, right? If only they're shifting, then they're getting more coins on the other chains, and when they come back, they're getting lesser coins. So it's kind of a fee
Oh,
if you're
okay.
switching, but if you're on the same chain, then you're not really paying the.
Okay, okay, makes sense. Actually, then that's a very healthy debate that we should definitely maybe give them a chance again to have, which is what decentralized is all about, right? If you're not having conflicts, then it's centralized. There's somebody
I
is
guess
just
that's how it was. This was not ABC. This is in general. I'm not talking about the 8%
okay, okay.
tax that as they say, it's tax they're introducing. But I'm talking about in general who gets to get the Coinbase reward. I think the way the again, I'm not that technical. I've not gone through that the code that technically, but I think whoever switches, they have lesser probability of finding a block
Cool, cool. So
versus
that means
those who actually stay on the Bitcoin Cash blockchain.
so the loyalty pays more in a way.
Yeah, yeah. So it's
Good,
I think
good.
after this next upgrade, we might see hash rate of BCH increase. If there is no split, the hash rate might increase. But
Okay,
the
okay.
split is looking like it's imminent, so hash rate might go down anyway.
Wow. Okay. So great, great. I think it was pretty good information actually.
Yeah.
So tell me about your sister Kuldeep. Where does she stay in the UK?
In Wolverhampton.
Wolverhampton.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this like close to Birmingham? No.
It's a couple of hours.
Okay, no, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, Wolverhampton, I've very clearly heard. I've been to many places, but I must have been confused this time. So, no, not a problem. And how was this thing done? She had to download a wallet and then she just received the Bitcoin Cash from you to her wallet? Okay, so I think it's a little frozen right there. Maybe from that side. So Kuldeep must have got his connection dropped. So hi guys on Facebook. It's nice to have you guys watching, and I think it's already 6:30 now, and some of us on the chat have dropped. So we'll be shutting down very soon. But yes, yeah, Kuldeep is here. Yeah, and it was nice having you around, and we will be doing this every Saturday, so we'll catch up again. Hi Kuldeep, you're back.
Hey,
Yeah, I think you just got disconnected for a bit.
that's right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so she just downloaded an app that you said about from Play Store and something like that, and then you took an address
Yes,
from
that's
her and
right.
then across. Wow, that's a great experience, man. That's nice.
Yeah.
So there was a couple of these Bitcoin related cards that we had made in our past, and
Uh-huh.
those cards I used one of them, which I had preloaded a .01 Bitcoin on it, and which was used for two weddings as wedding gifts. And both of them
Awesome.
really loved it, and one of them he just cannot stop talking about it every time I meet him.
Superb.
So
Must be fun.
this guy, there is one guy in the US. We all know him. He used to be the chairman of Bitcoin Foundation. His name is Brock Pierce.
Uh-huh.
He is also co-founder of EOS.
Superb.
He's running for president in the US. Do you know? Do you guys know that?
Really?
Yes, he's my Facebook friend, and he's running for president in the US.
When did he announce it?
He announced it a few months ago, like a few weeks ago, maybe a month and a half or something.
That's sad. I did not see any news coverage on that.
Yeah, you look up on LinkedIn. He's got most of his campaigning going on LinkedIn. His name is Brock Pierce. He's one of the co-founders of EOS, so it's very easy to look
Yeah.
up to find him. He was also a child actor. He acted in movies till he was 19 years old.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I think I forgot the name. Yeah, now I know.
Yeah,
That's
and
right.
he's running for president in the US
Yes,
against
yes, yes.
Donald
Oh,
Trump.
aware. Yes, yes.
It's good to know. Actually, it's great stuff. So, one Bitcoiner is already in the game right there. And me and him, we have a very well-known common friend. He is also from Bangalore, but he is not. He was just born in Bangalore. After that, he moved with his parents to US. He's got a couple of base in US and in New York and in LA, and the third place is in Hong Kong. So that is very vocalist about Bitcoin. And from 2013, he's been in our meetups too. He's met many of our meetup groups, and then he's very, very vocal. Like, if somebody thinks
Yes,
me,
yes.
I'm vocal, he's like 10 times more. So that guy and him are like very close friends. They were promoting US together at the time in the beginning. So he also started a card in Bangalore where we were together in 2013. So that card was also called Bitcoin Company, Bitcoin Co card, something like that he made. So what it would do is it would hide the private keys and it will only show the public key. But the only hassle was he had to get them printed by a printing press, right? So they would hold the keys, the combination keys. So he didn't popularize it as much. I still use it. We have like zero point zero 0.01 Bitcoin on those. But of course, those zero point zero 0.01 today is very valuable. It's close to what, 9,000 rupees. So it's just one of those experiences that I was remembering.
Interesting.
Of course. So yeah, it's good to know that you did send it to your sister. But yeah, that's a good start.
Yeah, true. I sent it to two
Okay.
people, and another one was like super excited, and she was like, "Oh no, it gained 11% in just one day." It happened, right? And she
Wow.
was like, "Oh, I want to invest more."
Purely, it's all about timing, right? So you got the timing exactly right.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. All
Great.
right.
All right, guys, it was really nice.
Yeah, same here.
So, well, I think we have one more new person who joined, but it was a little too late. I'm sorry, I can't get the name here completely. Can anybody get that name? I'm on a smaller gadget.
Akshata,
Akshita, are you able
AKSHATA.
to hear us? Do you want to join us? If not, we're going to be calling it off. It's already 6:30. You can unmute your mic and then you can speak if there is anything that you want to specifically know or what brought you to the meetup. Okay, I think the listeners have got their point. And thank you very much, guys. Thanks again.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to hear
Thank you, man.
you. Thanks, Amit. So we got a message from her. So yes, I know you can hear us, but my mic is not working well. Not a problem. I understand that. If you have a quick question, we will give you about a minute or two, or you can put in your question here on the message, or then we can call it a day. So in my meetup, of course, I get a lot of people who come in to understand, just to listen and understand a little bit what we go through, where we talk about. Most of it that we talk about is very high for people to understand, because most people in the meetups are very new, and they do come in with basic understanding. They get a little bit from us, and then they eventually go and do research. It's all about time, right? Not a lot of people do get a lot of time to go and research in depth. Uh, Considering now, there is so much fake that's going on around, and then so many one coin style people coming around and then pushing their agenda in front of Bitcoin's decentralization agenda. So that becomes hard to find out. But hey, you do your research and then join us next time, and then we'll be able to help you out and understanding more about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and the development side of it, Ethereum, DeFi side of it, everything we talk about. Okay, thank you very much, guys.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye, Vikram.
Okay,
Bye,
Thank
Kuldeep.
you.
bye. Bye, Ravi. Bye, Kuldeep. Bye, Prajwal. I think bye, Sholite. See you.